she felt the same, and I'm acting stupid like every day. Don't know what to do or what I should say, 'cause I got him on my mind, but he doesn't know.
Finally landed here in Manila. We gotta catch a flight to, where are we going? To, shit. I don't know, I'm so tired, I don't even know where I'm going. Hello and welcome to TC in Paradise. Today I am going to share with you some information so you can get to the Philippines without too much hassle. The first thing you're gonna need, of course, is a US passport or any passport. A passport that will get you to the Philippines. As always, I'll leave some links in the description sections to get you there. And that's pretty much it for that. Once you get that, you got to get you some tickets. So get some tickets. But where I went was ASAPtickets.com. And the reason I went there is they have some really good deals on some tickets. The only recommendation and suggestion that I can give you is that you will want to only book to Manila. And from there, you can buy tickets anywhere. The problem I had is that I booked to Manila from and to Cebu, but I wanted to travel other places as well. And when I did that, they charged me like $150 extra to my chagrin because I didn't check in at the airport I was supposed to. So I would suggest just getting there, Manila, Clark, whatever airport you decide is your home base, set that, and that's it. You can get all your other tickets and jump around as much as you want. That is my first and, well, only recommendation as far as ASAP tickets goes. The next thing you're gonna need is eTravel. It's a website that you have to apply on and get verified so that you can successfully get into the Philippines on their eTravel website for whatever reason. I'm not sure what it is. It may have been a COVID thing that stuck around. Either way, you need it. I did it last minute. Within, it says it takes up to 7 days. I did it 6 days, and I was dead on the wire, man. I showed up in Manila, and I think while I was texting on the app in the airport in Manila, in customs, I finally got it. So I recommend doing that at least 7 days in advance, maybe more, maybe 2 weeks. And then they will get you verified and you'll feel a lot more comfortable. Because I was in the airport in Vancouver and they were saying, oh, you got your eTravel? And I was like, yeah, I do. I have my eTravel. The next thing I recommend is getting some travel insurance. I went through Safety Wing. I'll leave some links in the description section, but I went with Safety Wing. They're relatively inexpensive. It's a good price. It's a good deal. I also recommend getting the tier where it allows you to do extreme sports. Just in case you're like me, you want to do some snorkeling, you want to do some hiking. If you bump your knee, you break something. I'm not sure if my HSA or my insurance is compatible with the Philippines. I'm kind of guessing it isn't, and either way, it's an additional layer of security that'll make you feel better in case you get in an accident. And there's not a lot of healthcare in the places I went to. I mean, I was pretty much on my own in the wilderness out there, but it is a nice thing to have in case you were somehow able to get back to a medical facility. So, and in the Philippines, it's not that easy. Another thing to mention about Safety Wing is that when I got back, I forgot to cancel my subscription, so they charged me an extra layer or the next month. And they were gracious enough after I emailed them to stop it and refund me. So that is a really big deal to me, because some companies will say, oh, well, you have already paid for it, so it's kind of on you now. So I don't like that, but they were very, very helpful in that regard. So one more reason I will recommend Safety Wing. And I'm not endorsed by any of these companies whatsoever. These are the companies I used, and these are the ones I recommend for the reasons I'll give you. SIM cards. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them when you're in the Philippines. I recommend not getting a SIM card. I would just recommend going to one of the malls when you're in the city. As soon as you're in the city, get service there. And it's a little bit more pricey. For under $100, you can get a month's worth of data that should get you through. They'll give you some good service. You can travel to Siargao, Palawan, Luzon, all those places, and you shouldn't have a problem. That's the way I did it last time. I tried to set up a SIM card this time with Globe and was pretty much completely unsuccessful. I wasn't unable to verify my Globe account because they wanted Gcash, and I couldn't do that either. And we'll get into Gcash and Cash and those systems also. Yeah, I would highly recommend just going to a mall or the airport and setting up your service as soon as you get there, or you will have difficulty getting service. And that was, I don't know, I was not having fun with that, and it would have been useful. The only thing that saved my rear end was the fact that my phone has GPS on it. And so when I got stuck in a hairy situation, I ran out of data, I had no internet access, no Wi-Fi. What happened was I was at least able to navigate my way home because my phone had GPS. And that was probably the only way, other than asking for directions at 2 in the morning, but we'll get into that during our travels and our videos. So if you did have success setting up your Gcash or your Globe account or your SIM card, I want to see that video, because there's something I definitely missed. It kind of worked, but it was really hard loading data, getting the kind of data I want. It was very confusing. So I just recommend going to a store. It'll save you probably 13 hours worth of work. The other thing you might want to do when you're there is rent a car. I don't highly recommend renting a vehicle because it's really expensive. There is no insurance, and if you get in an accident, it's kind of on you. So I recommend renting something with a little bit lower price tag on it, because I rented a 4x4 Jimny, which was super cool and super awesome, and I had a whole lot of fun. And however, like I'm saying, it is extremely expensive. It's 5,000 pesos a day to get you what I had. And so that's like $98 a day. So I don't know if you want to go that way. You can if you want. If you're made of money, more power to you. What I did that for a couple days, 3 days, and it's really nice when it's raining. But even when it rains, I was on a motorcycle the rest of the time, and you can get those for 450, 500 pesos a day. So I highly recommend those instead. Even when I was riding in the rain on the motorcycle, it was warm. It's warm in the Philippines. It's hot in the Philippines. So get a motorcycle. It's not a big deal. Get you some glasses, something to wipe away the rain or something. It's really a better deal. You have to give your driver's license or your passport, which I don't recommend. So I had to haggle. I had to tell the gentleman, I'm not giving you my passport. So we were able to negotiate, and they allowed me to use my driver's license or another form of identification, because I really don't understand why they would want you to, well, I kind of do, I guess, huh? They want your most valuable possession so they can get their most valuable possession back. But that's kind of scary, because I don't want to lose my passport to anybody for any reason. So hope your negotiation skills are up to par, and I hope their practices change. I went with Siargao rental cars, and the guys there were Uri and Scott, I believe it was. Really super helpful gentlemen. There was a time where I got a scuff on my bike from somebody in the hotel, and they were able to help me through that process very well, and they were very professional about it, and I really appreciate it. So those guys are awesome. A little pricey, but they will do their best to get you set up and on the road, because you're going to want to travel when you're there, because Siargao was gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. But if you're in the big city, I would just recommend getting one of the tuk-tuk, one of the trikes, get one of those, a rental car, stay away from vehicles at all cost unless you are extremely brave and very well funded, and because it's so easy to get around. Which brings me to another service which you may want to download before you get there. It's called the Grab app. It's an app. It's kind of like Uber, and you set that up. With that, you're going to have to need a valid credit card, and that's pretty much, it'll get you around. Or Gcash, if you can get that set up. I couldn't do it. Another way to get around is bus. Use a bus to go everywhere you go. These buses are really nice. They're up to date, modern, 100%. Air conditioning, even better than when I went last time. Last time they had open windows and curtains, which was fine, but it is hot. Now they got air conditioned buses most of the time with 5-star. The 5-star bus I took they're all brand new and they look sweet. And it's like, I went on a 7-hour bus ride. It took like 700 pesos. I mean, what are we talking about? 8, 9, 10 bucks? And you can get almost anywhere on the mainland. It is not a problem at all. So if you're in the Manila, Angeles district, buses everywhere. I recommend it. Baguio, Bolinao, all the way down south. You can get anywhere you need to go on a bus, and it's really easy. They put your stuff in the bottom. If you have like a big carry-on like I did, which I don't leave many valuables in there. All my valuables, like my drone, my camera equipment, I kept on me all the time in a locked bag. So, because I want to feel secure, and I did. And the people were fascinating, and they're very helpful, and they will get you everywhere you want to go. Oh, another bus service that I want to mention that I met some gentlemen there working. I'll put them in the video. We had a lot of fun. They're saying, "Are you a YouTuber?" I said, "Yeah, actually I am." And they're like, "Oh," so they wanted to get my information, and we had a lot of fun. These Ube buses, these things are cool. I'll have to make a video with the guys that I hung out with.
I'm Nico.
You're Nico?
Yes, Nico. I'm Rusty Boy.
Yeah? These are my Ube drivers. They're going to get me to Bolinao. Yeah? All right, all right. All right, so if I don't get there, it's their fault. Okay. So it's called the Ube bus, and that'll get you from the airport to the airport, or to the bus terminals if you need to go that way. And that's a really good service as well. Really cheap, 150 pesos will get you to the bus station and get you there safe, drop you off on time. And they have regular routes. It's pretty safe. It's pretty fast, and it's a good deal. You don't have to haggle with cabs or tuk-tuks, which are pretty cheap anyways. You can do that also. But the other thing they have still in Manila and in Cebu are the jeepneys. So the jeepneys are cool, and I have yet to travel on a jeepney. I just don't know how to do it. I'm pretty sure you just wait at a bus stop and you get on a jeepney. I just don't know where they're going, or I don't know the routes. They're more of a local service for the locals, that because they know how to use them better than I do. But if you have an opportunity to use and get on a jeepney, that would be just iconic, just absolutely out of this world. I got some photos of some jeepneys, and I thought they were going to upgrade. I was asking the gentleman if they were, and they still haven't. So I think I mentioned that in a later video, but on our travels that we'll get through. But those things are so cool. It's just the ultimate Philippine experience. If you wanted to do that. And they're sometimes they're packed in like sardines, like you're neck and neck with people, but it's something, it's an original, it's a thing. Cash, get some cash. Not too much cash. You don't want to be carrying a lot of cash on you for obvious reasons. They don't have a lot of money there in the Philippines, so you don't want to carry a lot of cash. Maybe a couple thousand pesos at any one given time. and plan accordingly on what you're going to be doing that day, and just take that much cash. You don't have to take out an exorbitant amount of cash when you're there. I don't know what the recommendation is. Maybe 8,000-10,000 when you're at the airport, and that'll get you to where you're going. But they have ATMs pretty much everywhere. It's relatively easy to get cash, so don't worry too much about that. Or another thing you can do is, if you have Gcash, if you have the Gcash app, you can use another service called Remitly, and you can fund your Gcash that way. That's one way I was able to do it. In fact, that was the only way I was able to do it, because a lot of places in the Philippines, one of their primary sources of cash is the Gcash app. It's like digital cash that they use, and that's what they use. So if you're at a department store or a local vendor that takes Gcash, or a lot of people take Gcash, and because they can get it on their phones all over the place. So get that set up. Get you a Gcash app before you go, and try to set that up prior, so you don't have to worry about that when you're there, because that's going to take several hours of your time. And you're on vacation. You don't want to spend all this time on all the little stuff, like all the apps, and like Grab app and Gcash app and this app. So just get that all squared away and downloaded before you go, and you will have so much more fun. Trust me. Well, that's all I really have for this video. I'm going to keep it short and sweet on this one, and because we are going to get into some of our travels and some of our destinations that we made it to, and I got some beautiful photography with some beautiful, gorgeous locations. Oh my gosh. And it was so fascinating. I have to reflect on just how amazing it is. And it's one of those places that'll change you for the better, I believe, because it will keep you humble. All right, TC in Paradise. So we'll see you next time. Thanks for stopping by. And to all my new subscribers, I really appreciate you subscribing and liking my videos. It's really helpful and useful. And it's part of my dream. So once again, I am TC, and we will see you in paradise. Have a good day.